What you guys did reveal this week is Pablo Matera, like, as if you weren't good enough already.
Yeah, it's a great signing, isn't it? Yeah, we're pretty fortunate to be able to get a player of that caliber, especially playing Super Rugby. It's definitely a razor. It's a razor signing. He likes to think outside the box, and I think Digby Ioane was another one that came in 2017, and Roger, Ronan O'Gara as a coaching, and Mark Jones as well, just thinks outside the box. So for us, we're going to be really excited to get him next year. And he's a world-class player. We can only look at those pitches that he played when he played played against the All Blacks. Him showing I guess in Māori terms you've got mana, but he shows that Argentinian flair and energy and enthusiasm. So yeah, it's going to be able to have a caliber of player who's going to be in our environment. And again, it's not only going to be great to have him as a player, but for the young guys coming through, having a player like that who can add knowledge to our group, it's only going to benefit us moving forward.
Yeah, what I like about it is, so often you've spoken on this, Bryn, in your reviews is around that breakdown and improving that breakdown area. A guy like him, with the young guys in your group, he can only, enhance their ability to improve in that area. And when he steps on the field, he is automatically going to improve that area. And he can play 6, 7 and 8, I believe. I know he doesn't. He roams between probably 6 and 7 for Argentina, but mainly it's 6, but they play sort of like for like, him and Crema. So I think he can play all three because of how well Ethan Blackett is going. It'd be hard to push him out of that 6th spot if he continues that form. And then Tom Christie's really sharp at 7 as well, and he's unfortunately injured at the moment. And Sione Havili's coming through there, so there's good competition for him to come into as well. You've got Cullen Grace, haven't even mentioned him.
Yeah.
Douglas. So he's coming into a competitive area, but one that he'll enhance and grow as well. And then getting him on the field and whatever position is key. And he says it's a razor signing. I think that ability to play all 3 positions is just so powerful and important because he's good over the ball, because he's a good carrier, because he's abrasive, he's good in the line out. He just covers all aspects needed in an international signing because you can only have a few of them in your squad.
You made an interesting point.
I think just on that as well, if we continue to keep playing Super Rugby Aotearoa, I look at our loose forward trios around having injuries throughout the year and just adding that depth, like you said. Ethan was out for a couple of weeks with his neck injury. Cully was out for a week. Tom Sanders was out for a long period of time. So anytime you can add depth in that kind of position, especially if we continue to play this crash and bash, high tempo Super Rugby Aotearoa, adding a guy like that, yes, again, he's world class, but anytime you can just keep adding depth, especially into the loosest position, I think it's going to be massive moving forward.
It's an interesting thing because there are so many good loose forwards around the country. To be looking outside the box in that position, I suppose, is something that no one saw coming because, we talk about just your team. That list is long, even without Pablo Matera. So I think that it really took people by surprise.
Yeah, yes and no. I think he's a point of difference player, isn't he? He's not a typical style Lucy that we've got here, and he just brings something different. And I think Bryn's alluded to it. It's just Razor's style is about doing things differently, and he's seen something in him, and I think we all admire his style of play, and I think someone like him wants to come over here and test himself in our competition. I think it can only be a good thing.
On top of that, he's going to be in a country that's safe from COVID, a country that he can rely on, being able to settle in quite easily. He can play in front of crowds. There are all these things, the comfort of playing in New Zealand. Yeah, well, touch wood, obviously, but New Zealand rugby is at a point of real strength there for attracting world-class talent if they want to, because of the COVID-free environment.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we always have been, and only enhanced with the situation we've got ourselves in at the moment, having the ability to have crowds and play the tournaments we're in, and we're about to, I'll touch wood again, that we're about to go into a Trans-Tasman competition, which is pretty exciting as well.
Yeah, 100%. And that Trans-Tasman competition is coming up on us really quickly. We've got to get past the final first. But, what are you looking forward to most about these Australian teams? Which ones in particular?
I'm looking forward to the change of styles and the adjustments our teams are going to have to make and the adjustments their teams are going to have to make. And then also on top of that, just to add another layer, the adjustments we're going to have to make to different referees. And I know the rules are the same, but it's just a different style of referee from Australia to Kiwi referees, and it's always, they see things differently, and that's just the team that adjusts differently, team that adjusts the fastest and the smoothest to when travelling over to Australia. You know, you've got 5 games, and then the top 2 teams play the final, so you've got to get it right pretty quick. And they're playing some good quality football. You know, the Reds and the Brumbies are playing the final, but there's been parts and moments in this season where the Force have been exceptional. They tipped the Reds up when it wasn't expected. You know, they came from 21-5 down in that game to beat the Reds, and you know, they just won't go away, the Force. They'll just keep coming. They've just got something about them. Richard Kahui mentioned he's compared them to the Chiefs. You know, they're a little bit of an unknown. You know, no one expects something of them. Their backs against the wall mentality, and that's what they're building, and they're really looking forward to the challenge. The Waratahs and the Rebels, I know, you know, the Rebels have just lost their coach. The Waratahs lost their coach earlier. There has been a little bit of a shift for the Waratahs. I think that, you know, and that's nothing, because I think, you know, Rob Penny's an exceptional coach. You know, he's been everywhere he's gone. He's had great success. But they are obviously starting to build something and improving. The Rebels, I think they maybe need to go back to how they started the comp. They started really challenging teams, and they had a I suppose, a game plan of building scoreboard pressure. Some of the games they didn't even score tries, and you know, they got 18 points just through the boot, and nearly bet the Reds, and pushed the Brumbies the same way, and then maybe lost tack of that and tried to score and tried to change their mindset a little bit. So maybe reverting back to that style. I know Tamua really wanted Dave Vessels to stay, so it's a great opportunity for that group to, you know, galvanise and probably repay, you know, their coach in a way, because, you know, it's obviously put a lot of strain and pressure on him and his family. So he wants to spend some family time now. So a great way for them to get together, galvanise that group and take the challenge of Trans-Tasman. So there's plenty to like, plenty to expect, and those different styles are exciting for the viewers to get up for.
Brent, is it a fresh start for the Waratahs and the Rebels, or is it an opportunity for it to get worse because they're playing Kiwi teams? Like, what do you say to these guys heading into a competition when it's already been going pretty badly, knowing that the teams you're coming up against are flat out going great?
Yeah, I think any time, you know, they're probably early doors in their Super Rugby AU. You know, we're probably out of the finals reckoning pretty early on, so, you know, I guess motivations are a little bit tough in that sense. But, you know, any times you get to start a new competition, and especially something new, playing New Zealand teams and knowing that, you know, we bring a different challenge and the ability to play against us, it brings a new form of motivation and enthusiasm and excitement. And it's no different for you think about the Highlanders and the Hurricanes. Again, you know, they would have loved to be playing in a Super Rugby final with Blues as well. And it's a clean slate going into next week. So, you know, those teams that they probably had ambitions to play in their home finals. Again, they get the opportunity in a new competition against two different countries to be able to play for something bigger than just their own country. So, I think the excitement levels will go up. And again, it's a clean slate, and the only thing is that you obviously want to have to take the learnings that you had for maybe why you haven't been so successful. So Jip's alluded to that with the Rebels, and again, it'll be similar to what the Highlanders, the Hurricanes, and the Blues will be wanting moving forward. Because again, we're players, we're competitive, we want to be playing in finals. So whenever there's a trophy up for grabs, you want to be making adjustments. So it'll be a clean slate for, I think, not only the team that you've talked about, but a lot of the other teams are going to be involved as well.